Well, hey kids, in today's class we're going to be using one of our new backgammon silicone molds that we produce here at Crafted Element. It is 14 by 14, ½ inch deep, and on each side you'll notice all these little circles. Each side has 15 backgammon pieces, because I think there's 30, well ideally there's 30 in a backgammon set. So literally with this mold, which is obviously super thick, super durable, and large like most of our other Crafted Elements molds are, you can create the board and you create the pieces all in one shot. Now, because this is a ½ inch deep mold and our small cavities for each of these triangles is like a 1/16 of an inch, maybe up to an 1/8 of an inch, I haven't officially measured them, but they're pretty shallow. We're going to be cool with using a art epoxy or a thicker epoxy like Total Boat's Maker Epoxy. Now, Maker Epoxy is a cool product for this because, again, it sets up really quick, degasses decently well if it's a short pour or a low pour, and it creates great results, and it's very, very thick. Now, I designed this backgammon mold because I had a bunch of customers asking me when we were going to bring in a backgammon mold. We released our large format chessboard molds, and there's a video here on our YouTube channel about that and demonstrating those molds maybe like a year and a half ago at this point. And they sell really, really well, but I've had constant people asking me for a backgammon mold. Now, we have requests every day for custom molds and custom templates, things like that. We don't do custom work, but generally if enough people ask about something, we'll make it. The backgammon mold is one of those examples. Now, guys, if you're watching this and you know who you are, I don't care how many times you ask for the Stormy Daniels private parts mold, it's not going to happen. We do have some standards here at Crafted Elements. They're very low, but we do have some standards. Okay, I digress. What we're going to do now is I've pre-mixed up some Total Boat Maker Epoxy. I've separated it into 4 colors, and I've put it into these little squeezy bottles, which you can get from Amazon. They're like little mini condiment bottles. I've done this off camera because one of the most annoying things about watching a resin art video is seeing someone mix resin and add pigment for 10 minutes of the video. So voila, I've got our resin pre-mixed, it's in bottles, it's tinted, it's colored, we're ready to go. First thing I want to do is level out our mold. Now, generally, these molds will come level, but in particular, because we have such a shallow pour area here, we're going to want to make sure that this thing is as level as possible. If our workbench is not level, and I can tell you this is pretty level, but it kind of dips a little bit in the middle, it's going to cause a problem. So I've got this MDF board. MDF is generally always level. I'm going to take my big level, I'm going to go over it and just line it up. So we're going to need to raise this board up here, and you'll see why I put this on a board is because you can't really shim the mold. If you shim the mold, it's just going to do this, and you're going to end up with a warped piece. Put it on a flat board and then shim that entire board. And you can pretty much use anything depending on how far or how off it is. I just usually use folded shop towels. It does the job, and they're strong enough to hold the shape. Pretty close. It's nice and level now. It's level. Okay. We're going to quickly hit the mold with our mold release. You always want to use a good quality non-silicone based mold release on silicone molds like this. The Man Ease Release 300 is really popular because it's a low build-up release, which means it's not going to give you like that hazy kind of matte finish that you can get on some releases. So that's why I really like the Man Ease Release 300. And again, it's a non-silicone spray. We do sell this at craftedelements.com in our accessory section, but you can also, I think, get it from Amazon and different art supply stores. We'll give that a couple of minutes just to dry out. All right, and what I'm going to do is, in the spirit of our chessboard video, I'm going to use the exact same colors that I did on our chessboard. We've got Black Diamond's Green Apple, Black Diamond's Burple, as in B, purple. We've got Matte White and Matte Black. These are going to be the pieces, white and black, and the purple and green are going to be our little triangles here. Once this is all set up, I'm going to come back and back pour any other color. It's probably going to be black, could be gray, whatever. But we're going to basically pour it after these are set up and ready to go. So again, my mold release is in, and I'm just going to go every other thing as careful as possible because I really don't want to spill outside of these lines. Now the one thing you'll notice, because I'm using a thicker epoxy like Total Boats Maker Epoxy, is you've got kind of a surface tension issue on all these little tips. So the easiest way to do it is to grab an object that's sharp but not too sharp, that you can even use a popsicle stick if you have enough hand control, and just drag some of the resin into those areas. Don't drag this on the mold. You really only just want to touch the surface of the resin and get it into these corners. Obviously, do the opposing colors first. So do all the purples, then do all the greens in this case, because you don't want to mix colors at the end tips. All right, I'm going to go and proceed to doing my pieces. I'm going to do this side in white, just fill these guys up. Now the next thing I'm going to do, that you could do in this case, is do the border a different color than the interior. You could also do the entire thing in one big backfill, but because I've got some extra resin made, I'm going to go ahead and just do the entire surround in black. I could even just mix the black and white and get kind of creative with it, but I'm just going to go ahead and fill all this up with my extra black resin. Okay, well that's pretty much it. All we need to do now is wait for this base layer to set up. Because it is Total Boat Maker Epoxy, it could probably come in like 5 or 6 hours depending on the temperature where you're pouring this. And then do that entire back pour, because this will all have been kind of gelled up and partially set up, allowing me to do that extra back color. Now if you want to go and get this mold before you see the video done, craftedelements.com is where you want to get it. You can also get one of these cool epoxy resin shirts in the apparel section of Crafted Elements or at makeepicthings.com. All right guys, we'll be right back. Now about 4 hours has gone by since I laid down this initial layer, and to this point that it's actually flexible, it's not hard, and it's very, very tacky, but the colors aren't going to mix. So I've mixed up some Total Boat Maker Epoxy here, along with some Black Diamond Liquid Metal Pearl Pigment, which is like a light kind of aluminum, like reflective aluminum color, which I think will look pretty cool. And it's really just simple as topping this up. Now I made 40 ounces. This entire cavity here is 1,400 milliliters. So I think 40 ounces would be sufficient. So what we're gonna do now is let this set overnight. It's a bit late in the day, so I'm not gonna be able to take it out before I go. But once I come in tomorrow, I will resume this video, we'll demold this, and we'll see the final product. Well, it's bright and early the next morning, and our resin has set up here. Now it isn't fully cured, so it is not deformable, like I can press it with my finger and it's hard. But because it is a thin pour, we're gonna want it to fully set over the course of the next few days. So I'm just gonna I'm gonna demold it, it'll be a little bit flexible, that's fine. As long as you leave it on a flat surface to fully cure, it'll be nice and flat and hard in the next few days. So, ready for the magic? Look at this. Ooh, pretty cool. Actually looks pretty cool. All right, and then 30 of these guys. Let's fast forward this. Well, that's it, guys. Basically 2 stages of production. Lay down the initial layer, lay down the game pieces, maybe the border if you want to. Come back after that set and lay down the base. This turned out really, really cool. I'm actually pretty impressed with the colors and the way everything came together there. Pieces look great. So if you want to get one of our new backgammon molds, or if we want to use one of our chessboard molds, or our tic-tac-toe molds, we've got a bunch of different game molds available at craftedelements.com, as well as 200 plus other high quality, super durable, super thick silicone molds just like this that you can shop to satisfy all your resin art and woodworking desires. All right guys, thanks for watching. I'm not gonna say it. See you later.